Hello, fabulous Taurus. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of December 2020, looking at life and love. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. It is a remarkable astrological month. It is a big one. As we begin the month, we are in a period between eclipses. Chances are you're still feeling that energy of the lunar eclipse that took place late last month. Well, as we navigate further, it is going to be right around the 14th that we are going to have this month's solar eclipse, which is also a new moon solar eclipse. Now, this solar eclipse is taking place in a part of the sky for you that has to do with profound and meaningful transformation. It has to do with being more deeply honest with yourself. And this part of the sky can also speak to your ability to access resources, things like grants, loans, bursaries, insurance payments, tax returns, benefits you may qualify for. All of that is covered here. Now, what I find interesting with this solar eclipse is that it is happening hand in hand with Mercury, which means there are talks taking place. There is communication now. There may even be documents or information exchanged, letters arriving. That is part of what Mercury represents. But we also have Neptune speaking in a conversation of tension with this solar eclipse. Now, already, this solar eclipse is very powerful because it is happening mighty close in the sky to what is known as the galactic center. This part of the sky has been understood as the birth canal of the universe, which makes it especially powerful. So it adds that much more importance to the eclipse, that much more importance for you to this particular area of life. And so that energy there of brilliance and insight and connections and conversations magnifies that much more. There's a very quick way in which events can transpire, the way that information can find you, the way in which you may be connecting with other people, the way in which contracts can come about as well, financial agreements, financial settlements. At the same time, though, because of that Neptunian connection, there may be an element there of things maybe not being as certain as you may like. There may be an element there that the beginning now is coming about as a result of realizing something that isn't working. So there may be some disappointment that is part of what ultimately sets that stage for that sense of a new beginning, that sense of a fresh perspective, that sense of seeing things very deeply. With this part of the sky connected to profound and meaningful change, well, I do think that some of that may transpire for you now. You may feel different as a result of what you realize about yourself under the light of this solar eclipse that allows you a newfound sense of a beginning. Now, that could be change on a psychological level, but it could be physical as well. Now, regardless of what does transpire, the key to remember here is that with eclipses, there's something very karmic about what is playing out. And ultimately, regardless of how it looks on the surface, karma is always about, I believe, the karmic urge that we all have is to align with a higher, more loving vision for your life, even if it looks different than what you thought it would look like. And that may be part of what is inspired in you at this time. But that's not all that's happening mid-month, okay? So just 3 days later, we have got Saturn moving back into a part of the sky for you that has to do with career, social standing, life purpose. You had Saturn here back in the spring. And it was way back then in the Saturn special horoscope and beyond that as well. I told you that in the beginning, that's going to be hard. But what starts out as really difficult and uncertain will look very different once we navigate into December. And now we're here. And what's going to make it look different now is just 2 days later, Jupiter moves into Aquarius, and on the winter solstice, the 21st, these two planets are going to meet in the sky for their once every 20-year connection called the Great Conjunction, also known as the Star of Hope. So this is a connection that is very powerful, and it does suggest that something more idealistic embodies, manifests, becomes real. And again, what might have looked so difficult or challenging or hard going way back to late March, beginning of April, now it looks different. And now it may be part of what ultimately launches you in brand new directions. And I would even say it's a brand new 20-year cycle for you that aligns you with greater success, perhaps a greater sense of ambition, a greater sense of life purpose as well. Now, I did speak about this in the Saturn special horoscope. I will link to the YouTube video in the description below. Jupiter special horoscope, be on the lookout for that in the first weeks of December as well. Now, as we get to the end of the year will end on a full moon, and this full moon is in a part of the sky that is decidedly communicative for you. It has to do with conversation. It has to do with connecting on a mind level, which can be quite enlivening at this time. And it has to do with synchronicity, being in the right place at the right time, meeting the right person, and it makes all the difference. And so this full moon will be speaking in harmony with Uranus. I love this energy. It is fortunate. It has things moving very quickly in a surprising and delightful manner. And so it is, as you are going about doing what you do, that you may, whether online or in person, feel as if you have either had the realization or connected with a particular person, and it can change things for you, in some cases dramatically so at that. There is a sense of power and purpose with this energy and with this full moon, but also a sense of comfort. And it may very well be that you get that surprise opportunity to talk to somebody, perhaps a sibling, a cousin, or a neighbor, but it is a conversation that you feel very deeply. That is just what you need as we end one year and enter another. Now, where it comes to matters of love, it is going to be under the light of the solar eclipse that we will have Venus changing signs. So for the first half of the month, you've got Venus in your opposite sign. This tends to be one of the best times to connect with somebody, whether in established bonds or somebody brand new. It can feel like other people you're interacting with are that much sweeter and nicer. Once Venus changes signs, well, this part of the sky is much more about what is real. And it has to do with being more vulnerable to another person. So if it is that you are open to meeting someone new, you've still got those beautiful vibes in the first half of the month that you can take advantage of, connecting with new people. It can feel that much easier. However, once we get to the second part of the month, it has to feel real, or else it just isn't going to interest you. You have to feel it deeply. And in some cases, you know very quickly whether or not you feel something authentic here, a real connection here or not. And if you feel it, well, energy like this says you may feel very much connected to somebody new. But if you don't feel it, it's just not going to interest you. And for those of you who are just starting to date somebody, Venus in your opposite sign for the first half of the month is a very nice energy. It's easy and breezy, and it's that much easier to get along. But once Venus changes signs, it is much more real. It is much more about you coming to an understanding about what your true feelings may be for this person, whom it is that they really are. Perhaps for some of you, it may feel like a time of revealing, and so you're getting to know this person more deeply. For some of you, this is going to lend itself to bonding that much more deeply, but for others, what you uncover, what you come to learn, it may be a deal breaker. Now, for those of you in an established bond, the first half of the month, beautiful, lovely, interacting with your partner, feeling the love. That is lovely energy that you do want to tap into. It is in the second part of the month as Venus changes signs. Well, on the one hand, that can be good for your partner's income. So you may notice a boost on that front. On another area though, in another layer rather, it is going to be Venus moving into here that invites the two of you to get to know each other more, to be more vulnerable with each other, to find a deeper sense of intimacy, and in particular emotional intimacy. And it is Venus moving into this new part of the sky that you will end the year with and start next year with, that can have you feeling like you truly know your partner and that there is a depth of commitment happily taken there. What I love about this month for you, well, look, there's a lot here, right? It is a important astrological month, an active astrological month. The other thing is that it is going to be in the very beginning of next month, the very beginning of January, that Mars is going to leave shadow. So Mars is doing interesting things as well. It is an important month as part of the Mars retrograde season coming to a close. At the same time, though, if I had to pick one thing that I love the most, it's got to be that great conjunction. That is a rare phenomenon. And to have that connection taking place, well, it does suggest that your understanding of your destiny is about to change, become more hopeful, and become more solid for the better. Well, thank you so much for watching. You can get a video like this every week by logging on to nadiyashah.com. Sign up to be one of my superstars. Superstars get expanded, exclusive videoscopes each and every week, unlimited access to special horoscopes and more. All of this in the superstar space. I look forward to meeting you there. It'll be a great month. Enjoy.